Hello everyone. So today we will be solving palindrome pairs and it is day 13 of June Leetcode challenge, and the question goes like this. Given a list of unique words, return all the pairs of distinct indices I and j in the given list so that the concatenation of the two words I and words j, is a palindrome. So question is pretty simple. Uh, I hope you must have understood it. So if we take an example, we need to find two words from this words array and concatenate them and check whether these words form a palindrome or not. If they form a palindrome and if their indices are not equal, we need to return them in our result array. So for this array, we have 0, 1 as a pair. So ABCD DCBA makes up a palindrome, and similarly we have these also. So the first intuition for this problem would be a brute force solution where for all the words you will run loop and try to find out that concatenation with every other word will give me a palindrome or not. But it would be not accepted, as it will give you a TLE, because it will be more time consuming. So what we will be doing here is that we will looking at some optimal approach to go with this problem. So let's give some time to yourself and try to find out whether you can come up with such a solution or not. And so here what we will do is that, so we will understand some basic approach how we can solve this problem. So let's say I have two strings. Let's say I have a string A, which is something, I'm not specifying what it is, and string B, which is something, let's say stars. So I need to find out when A plus B will be a palindrome. The question I need to answer is this. So let's say for A, I put a gap here, or I put a space here. So I have divided my A into two parts. This is the left part and this one is the right part. Now what I am saying is that, let's consider this left part was ABC and this B string was CBA. Just to understand, let's assume this. So what I can see is that if I reverse this ABC prefix of this A string, which is CBA, and if I append this here CBA, so if this internal part was a palindrome, and appending this to the end will give me A plus B as a palindrome. What we just discussed is that, plus what I will say is that if this words of I itself is this empty string, then continue, and if otherwise, if this is palindrome, so this word is palindrome, if palindrome, this words of I, then I need to add it in my answer. So let's dot push back. It will be, so hm of empty string and I. So for every empty we need to have all the palindromes that are there in our words array. So let's now try to run this. Now this is working fine. So let's try to submit it. Okay, it got accepted. So thank you everyone, this was for today. If you have any doubts, please leave it in a comment. I will try to solve that out also. Thank you. So let's take an example. Let's say we have DEF as a string and ABC as a string, or let's say we have FE as a string. So, and what I now we want to check for every word whether it is possible or not to make a palindrome with other word. So let's say we check first for, let me make a map instead first, because I want only the reverse of B, not with the B. So for every element I want its reverse, so I will store it in a map. So let's say DEF will become FED, ABC will become CBA, and FE become EF. Now, so for DEF, let's partition it from the 0th index. So left of this is an empty string. So do we have any empty string here? So we are checking the reverse of B or reverse of any other string in the array. So there is no reverse string which is equals to empty. And is there any reverse string which is equals to DEF? So this is the left part and this is the right part now. So no, DEF is also not present. So what I will do is that I will shift my breakpoint to the first position. Now left is D. Do we have a D in our map? No, we don't have a D in our map. Do we have EF in our map? Now EF, yes, we have EF, which is basically a reverse of string FE. So now we have EF in our map. I know that we can have EF, so I will check the other portion whether this is a palindrome or not. So D, left part is D. D itself, it is a palindrome because it is a single character and all single characters are palindrome. So I know that this is a solution. So what I will do is that I will append EF here, and it will EF. So I will append FE here because the original string was FE. You can see here it was just the reverse we have checked for. So FEDEF is a palindrome. Now we got one answer here, so we will store it as a 0th and what was the last one? So it was DE and 0th and second position. So this was one result. Let me write this result in here. Now we are done with this, so we will move our breakpoint to next position. So DE is present. Let's check for in the map. No, D is not present. And whether single F is present? No, it is not. And if you similarly check for the other elements, they will not be present. So for this case, our answer will only be 0, 2. Now I think you must have understood the way we are gonna code it. So let me tell you one thing, that we will also be storing index in the map just to check whether the index is not the same index for the element which we are checking for. So let's say we are checking for DEF, so we don't want to check for the same index here. Okay, so now let's try to code it out. So let's take an ordered map of string and integer, and let's name it HM. So first of all, let's store all the words in the map. So for int I equals to 0, I less than words dot size and I plus plus. So what I will do is that I will take in the some other string, let's say temporary string, which is equals to words of I, and let's reverse it. Reverse of temp dot begin to temp dot end, and just put it into a hash map. So hash map of temp will be equals to I. So we have created our map. Now we want to check for all the words in I equals to 0, I less than words dot size and I plus plus for every word. So for int j equals to 0, j less than words of I dot size. So for every word size, what I will do is that I will say left is equal to, so it will be a string, substring from So left will be my words. So one thing we are missing here is that our code might not work for this test case, because it will yield us 0 1 because it will take a and empty string, but for empty string it will not take a as answer. So I don't think 1 0 will be a solution. Let's run for the basic case and let's try this. So it is working for a base case. Let's see this. So let's run this. Yeah, it is not giving us 1 comma 0. So what we need to do is we need to handle this separately. So for let's say if hm dot find this empty string is not equals to hm dot end, which means there is an empty string in our map. So what we will do is that for all the words int I equals to 0 and I less than words dot size I plus plus, what I will say is that if this words of I itself is this empty string, then continue, and if otherwise, if this is palindrome, so this word is palindrome, if palindrome this words of I, then I need to add it in my answer. So let's dot push back. It will be so hm of empty string and I. So for every empty we need to have all the palindromes that are there in our words array. So let's now try to run this. Now this is working fine. So let's try to submit it. Okay, it got accepted. So thank you everyone, this was for today. If you have any doubts, please leave it in a comment. I will try to solve that out also. Thank you.